r/NoStupidQuestions, I see a lot of Tesla. Are these people really making over 110k a year or seriously just not contemplating the costs? Yeah, I've had people ask how I afford my Tesla. Many are surprised to find they paid more for their Toyota. The base price of a Tesla Model 3 is only $29,000. Link. Contrary to popular opinion, these cars are affordable now and is not really a status symbol anymore. Depending on your state, you can get a base Model 3 after state and federal tax rebates under $30,000. Problem is, the cheapest Model 3 loses its eligibility for the $7,500 tax credit in 2024. People are spending an ass ton to buy all these huge pickup trucks and SUVs on the road too. Would rather someone spend the money they don't have on a Tesla than a clapped out Ford Super Duty. I read somewhere that F-150s had the highest average monthly loan payment. Couldn't find the article but did find this link. We bought a Model 3. $7,500 tax credit plus $5,000 discount on existing inventory brings it to about the same price as a Camry, and you never have to buy gas or perform oil changes. About $30/month to charge. I own a Model 3 2022. Cost me $40k here in Norway. I make $60-70k/year. Pay $450 per month in loan. With all my driving I save $2-300 in gas. Love the car, so it's a no-brainer for me. A lot of people lease them and just pay a set amount per month. I think it's a few $100s, and you can knock a fair amount off that as they're much cheaper to run as the electricity cost to charge it is a fraction that of gas. Also, some places such as supermarkets, at least where I live, have free high-speed charging, so you can charge up while you do your shopping. They're less expensive than most other luxury cars and almost all pickup trucks. Why don't you wonder how people afford all of those as well? Never assume that someone driving a nice car equals wealthy. Tons of people live beyond their means and in debt. Source: I grew up in Miami. It was so incredibly common to put on a wealthy lifestyle show. They are cheaper than the average new car in the US. They should be cheaper than a luxury car since Model 3/Y are not luxury vehicles. Because posting anything about Tesla or Elon gets rage clicks and folks shitting on the car. Not all Teslas are $100,000. Actually, almost all of them are not even half that. You can lease a Tesla 3 for like $300 a month. Bro, have you looked at car prices? Tesla Model 3 and Y are not excessively expensive. They're really just mid-tier cars in the 40,000s. Most pickup trucks start higher than Teslas. According to this page about income percentages, link $110k/year is the 85th percentile. So, about 15% of people. In the US of about 300 million people, that's 45 million people. I paid $35k for mine, less $7.5k tax rebate, less no tax in my state, 9% save, less free charging at work, less no oil changes, etc. Was cheaper than a Camry when I did the math for me. Added 4 years, Axle tires have spent $160 on service. Was an economical choice for me. The bigger question is how are so many people driving $70,000 trucks? I'm at $130,000 in Ohio, low COL, and I drive an almost 20-year Volvo, which I bought used for $8,000 7 years ago. Fuck car payments. Orange County CA checking in, completely normal for someone to be scraping by in a 1BR apartment building while leasing a $70,000 BMW. Now just replace BMW with Tesla. A lot of people get crazy 72 or 84 months loans on vehicles. Just look at how many $75k plus trucks and SUVs are on the road. Majority of people driving those can't really afford it. The Ford Online Configurator Payment Calculator automatically puts in 8.9% for 84 months. My cousin traded in his Subaru for another vehicle, Hydra, and the Subaru was almost paid off, $5k. This man financed a $70,000 vehicle. He wonders why his financials aren't together. He makes around $23-26/hour. Debt. Rednecks have been buying $80,000 trucks they can't afford for decades. That's why Elon is trying to sell trucks now. Don't assume car matches income. Partner and I make $300k and have one car, 2012 Honda Civic Coupe. $110,000 a year really isn't that much nowadays. It's more common than you think. The average person is just dumb. They don't realize a Tesla is more affordable than a Toyota. Look at how much a Tesla actually is, understand they need no maintenance, and no gas. Then look at tax incentives. Maybe overthinking it to some extent? Not all Teslas are super expensive. My best friend bought a Tesla, brand new, and with the tax credit, paid less than I did for my pre-owned 4Runner, lol. I think she paid around $30,000. Which isn't an unreasonable amount to spend on a vehicle, IMO, especially with a decent down payment. Model 3 is $27K after rebate. Define irrational. Because to me, if retirement and other obligations are squared away, irrational is giving a single fuck what someone else decided. The rule is with how you spend the money you earn. Nobody puts baby in a corner. I have a brand new Model 3 that will end up costing me $29,500 after the tax credit and drive a 78-mile commute round trip every day. To me this is a pretty financially sound choice. My cousin bought a brand new Model S recently. He makes $60K/year. Not the smartest, but he lives with his parents and basically has no bills to pay aside from that car. The base Model 3 is $39,000, minus tax credit usually, so about $30,000. That's a lot lower than the average new car selling price at $48,000. To afford new cars, high prices, people are financing for longer terms, 72 months on average. Of course, most people don't buy new cars, they buy used cars, for an average of $26,500. So a new Model 3 for $30,000 looks pretty good, much cheaper cost of ownership than a nice car. 90% of the folks here in LA can't actually afford the car they're driving. They're bending over backwards and max out all the cards just to make the lease payments. They lose their job and after 4 weeks it is all gone. Fake it till you make it to the max here. I am doing very well and have probably more savings than most people here, maybe also because I am still driving the used car I paid in full from 2008. Still looks like new somehow too. The majority of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck and oftentimes less than that. That, and on top of that, a large portion of people aren't financially literate or have a budget each month. Teslas are not good cars. They're actually probably some of the worst cars on the market right now. But this doesn't matter, because people who buy Tesla aren't people interested in cars, or even in quality, otherwise they'd do their research and conclude that Teslas are very bad. They're interested in status. Tesla cars aren't transportation vehicles, they're status symbols. I make $120,000, no way I'd buy a car that expensive. Edit, everyone asking about the sub $30,000 Model 3. I currently drive a minivan and need a family car. The Model 3 would be far too small for that. LOL, a Model 3 is like $29,000 right now, considering if you make $120K you'll definitely get the full tax credit. Teslas cost less than a Prius. A Tesla Model 3 after the tax credit is only $29,000. How much is the credit, or how does the credit work? How expensive are we talking? Why do people think all Teslas are expensive? Are there not many people around you who make $110K per year? In the UK they are not a status symbol. The majority of Teslas in the UK are company cars for the tax benefit. They're the new Ford Mondeo in the UK. They can be pretty cheap on a business lease, at least here in the UK they are. Not everyone understands there is a difference between being able to pay for something and being able to afford something. More than 33% of households on the USA make more than $100,000 per year, and 12% of households are earning over $200,000 per year. Many people are leasing, they consider their cars to be a utility rather than a depreciating asset, or they are able to write off the lease as a business expense. $100,000 for a household isn't much at all. Teslas are cheaper than people assume. Subtract what you're paying for oil changes and the difference between petrol and electricity where you live and redo your calculations.